Good afternoon, everybody. I am going to be making some dirty rice, Cajun dirty rice, and I'm going to bring y'all along with me. So you're going to need a pound of hamburger meat and a pound of the sausage. I like Jimmy Dean hot because I like the way it's seasoned and it brings a lot of flavor. You're going to need onion, bell pepper, and celery, or you can get this seasoning blend, which has a little bit of everything. This has onions, red and green bell pepper, and celery. But if you don't have that, put one onion, half a red, and half a green bell pepper, or just one small green bell pepper, and a little bit of celery. You're also going to need salt and pepper, of course. I'm going to put 3 cloves of garlic. And if you don't have these different seasonings, also garlic powder, I'm going to put a little Italian instead of using, the oregano and bay leaves and all that kind of stuff, because it has that in the Italian seasoning. I'm also going to use my crazy mixed up salts, which also has a lot of different seasonings in it. And for spice, I'm going to go ahead and use some Tony Chachere's. If you don't have Tony Chachere's, you can use chili powder, cayenne pepper, things like that. This has that kind of stuff in it. So again, I try to use seasoning blends as often as possible instead of having to buy all these other different little flavors, because these combined make it. Now, because I am using salt and pepper as well. I'm not going to use as much of this, but I'm going to go ahead and get this started. What you're going to do is you're going to fry your meat up first with your onion blend and garlic. I'm also going to put in, I didn't pull it out, but you're going to need 2 chicken bouillon cubes in a cup of water. You're also going to make rice, and with this amount, I'm going to make 4 cups of rice, and I'm going to add it until it gets to the right, where I want it to be. So I'm going to get this started, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the first step is you're going to mix in your hamburger meat with your pork so it's blended. You're going to get this started to brown, and once it just starts to brown, we're going to start throwing in our onions, celery, and bell pepper, and our garlic. So let me get this brown just a few minutes, and we'll start adding everything to it. Okay, so the meat has started to brown, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my seasoning blend. And again, if you don't have this, use, I would say, 1 onion and then 1 bell pepper, either half a red and half a green, and then 1 stalk of celery would probably be enough. Again, the sausage has got a lot of flavor to it. And then I'm going to throw in my garlic, my chopped garlic. Now, I'm going to get this cooked down, get the vegetables cleared, and then I'll start adding in my salt, pepper, and other seasoning blends. Okay, so now that that's browned and the vegetables are clear, I decided I'm not going to use my salt yet, because I am using my crazy mixed up salt, which has a lot of salt in it. I'm going to go ahead and put me some pepper, because I like my dirty rice a little spicy. And again, I'm already using a spicy sausage. So, and I am going to use some Creole. So if you don't have Creole seasoning, you can use chili powder and cayenne. So I'm just going to kind of do a sprinkle over the top of that. And as far as the Italian seasoning, I'm going to do 2 pinches. That way it's just, you're not adding too much of that. And then I'm going to add me some garlic powder. I'm going to taste this after we get it all put together. And of course, if it needs salt, I can add more salt at that time. But you don't want to over salt it to start with. And because, again, I'm using the crazy mixed up salts and the Creole, they both have salt content. So we're going to just do this a little bit at a time. So let me get this cooked down some more. Let the seasonings kind of cook in. And then I'll add my 2 cups. And I'm messed up. It's 2 cups with 2 bouillon cubes. So I'm more than I'm going to have to put this in a big pot when I go to add my rice. So for now, I'm just getting this all fried down. I like using my fry pan for this. So let me just cook this a few minutes, and we'll add our water. Okay, so I've got this cooked in with the seasonings and all. So I'm going to go ahead and add my water in bouillon cube to this. Now, while the rice is finishing cooking, I'm going to cover this and let this simmer for the time that it takes for the rice to cook. So 20 minutes or so. So again, we're going to turn this down to a medium low. We're going to cover it and we're going to let this simmer. And once the rice is done and I get me a bigger pot, we'll get it all mixed up, simmer some more, and it'll be ready to go. Okay, so I switched over to my big pot. I've had it simmering while the rice is cooked. I made 4 cups of rice. We're gonna add it in a little bit at a time. Well, about a couple of cups at a time, because I might not need the full 4. It really depends on how meaty you like your dirty rice, but you want to make sure that it's dirty rice versus just meat. So I'm going to, it's going to need more rice. So I'll probably use most of this. Rice is kind of hot too, so. All right, so I think we're good right there. That was probably about 3 cups of rice. I might add a little bit more. Add a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna get probably another cup. There we go. So about 3 cups total of rice for me. And I'm gonna get this stirred up. I'm gonna cover it again. It's gonna simmer for about another 5 minutes. I'm gonna taste it and see if it needs any more salt, pepper, garlic, spices, whatever. So I'm gonna let this simmer. I'm gonna cover it, let it simmer 5 minutes, and I'll be back. All right, it's been 5 minutes and I just tasted it. It's plenty spicy enough. So if you use that hot sausage and you don't want it too spicy, be kind of easy with that Creole seasoning, because this definitely has a kick to it. Now I'm fine with that, and my family's fine with that, but if not, you might want to be easy on it. I'm gonna add a little bit more garlic and just a little bit of salt, not much, maybe half a teaspoon. I'm gonna stir this up. I'm gonna let it sit a few more minutes, and then I'm going to plate it up and I'll give it another taste. Okay, so I stirred that, let it sit a minute. I got me a plate. Now, if you want to add some more color to this, towards the end, you could put in some fresh parsley. Stir that in so you've got a little bit more color to it. Again, this is a little spicy, so be careful with the cayenne, if the Creole seasoning, if you don't want it too spicy. I'm gonna give it a taste. Perfect. Yes, a little spicy, got a little kick. But it's dirty rice. It should have a little bit kick to it. So, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, enjoy, y'all.